listen.
And so it made it more clear why she looked like she looked, why she did some of the stuff she did, why she could make pottery and do all kind of stuff. Growing up, my aunts and my sister, and they were much older than me, and all of them never understood how come she knew that stuff. But now when I say that, she knew it because she was Native American. Her mother's mother and all them, they were quote Indian people. Then they married the Gullah Geechee, so that's a come we're black and Indigenous American. Although you may not look at all the family and immediately say that, you just say,
you hear that? But this 9 years ago, bro. But niggas want to beat up on the point. Oh, she said Africa's the motherland. For some people, it is. But she understands that she's mixed, and a lot of Gullah Geechee are. But niggas want to beat up on that point because they want the name. They want to take Gullah Geechee away from her because they don't have no culture themselves. Trust me, this is what's going on.
They're Gullah Geechee, but we also have Indigenous ancestry. So that, of course, led to me wanting to know more about the reconnection, I call it, of these Indigenous peoples. And so here it was that all the lifestyles were so similar. The practices are so similar. The way you catch fish, going what we call gigging, gigging. To catch fish, same thing the Indigenous Americans did. Okay, so the way you grow food, your food ways are similar. The way you make certain things are similar. So now that's an easy match then, in terms of coupling. So you have people living side by side, but you also have people intermarrying. These folks, I find out, get renamed because those who don't remain.
And this is Negroes' problems. See, auntie, the cultures were similar, so it was low-key easy for people to mix and mingle amongst each other. But these niggas don't understand that something being similar don't make them the same. So when they see something being similar, oh, well, all of them got to be indigenous because it's been going on, but other people brought their practices too. But see, people who pretend to be Wale, like niggas who be calling the Wale Muskogee, niggas who be calling the Gullah Wale, right? They don't really understand our story. This is why only Wale and the Gullah Geechee that have intermixture or admixture, can speak for us. These niggas on the internet who be going way to Mexico and real Wale washed up on them shores, and they'll never show you them saying what I just said before me. Let's keep moving.
On the plantation islands where the cotton, the rice, and indigo are being grown, and I'm living on little side islands that are called hummocks, the little 10-acre or less islands. They started living there in their own communities. They weren't going to continue.
But I want to go back to that part, man, cause
practices are so similar. The way you catch fish.
Let me go back a little bit more, so they want to play
and starve them out. Sick. My family still owns a lot of Follow on Island because that is where my grandfather came from and his father's father. My grandmother is the one from Dato. And so it made it more clear why she looked like she looked, why she did some of the stuff she did, why she could make pottery and do all kind of stuff. Growing up, my aunts and my sister and they were much.
So now let's clear this up. I will tell you all this much, right? If her mother's, right? She's indigenous. She has an indigenous clan. But Africans, a lot of or Guinea, right? A lot of Benin, Igbo, Kizzy, they go by their father's bloodline. So over here it's understandable as to why they practice more of their father's traditions. But what I'm not going to do is let people beat up on this woman or try to beat up on her intellectually. And these niggas don't even have enough information. 8 years before Fool made his video, she already let y'all know her genealogy. We not finna keep doing this. Stop playing. Let's get it.
Coupling. So you have people living side by side, but you also have people intermarrying. These folks, I find out, get renamed because those who don't remain on the plantation islands where the cotton, the rice, and indigo are being grown, and I'm living on little side islands that are called hummocks, the little 10-acre or less islands. They started living there in their own communities. They weren't going to continue to be enslaved. So they would raid the plantation islands back and forth. These are who become known as Seminole because they take the Spanish word Cimarron, meaning wild or exile, and label.
Pause. Niggas will tell you Seminole mean runaway. It fucking means exile. Why? because they were running away from the Creek Nation. Their fathers and mothers were being exterminated. These were the offspring of the mixed YAMASI. But the YAMASI was so many indigenous nations. The Gullah was so many different nations that when they came together, their children were exiled because they didn't want to fuck with the Creek Nation. But niggas will tell you this woman is strictly African. They were strictly focused on the story of her being African. She's telling you about the indigenous side. Let's listen. Let's get it.
As Seminole or Seminole in other places you would even call it. So now when they write of them, these Seminoles are blah, blah, blah. These Seminoles are blah, blah, blah. It's not until this war is going on and it's starting to go through. It's now Florida, because them in Georgia, into Florida, and these battles are continuing, that now someone writes, there are more Negroes in this war than there are Indians.
Yes.
And
Right. So they was saying this is a Negro war, not an Indian war. This lady's dropping bombs that a nigga who made a video about her last year, he didn't even see this. If he would have seen this, he would have shut the fuck up. Let's get it.
one piece of history that was documented tells the whole story. And that's why now, when I meet up with Seminoles, and I start to crack my teeth like this shit, it's, oh, how you know that?
Hey, we love you, Queen Quet. The real Wale, we love our Gullah Geechee cousins, man. Whether y'all got admixture or not, we love you. Let's get
How
it.
I know that? This is Gullah. That's Seminole. So when you go to Texas and you go to Oklahoma, they call it Seminole. And they think their language is Seminole. So when I visit them and I speak Gullah to them, they always want to get the oldest people around me, because the younger ones have forgotten it. They know they can understand it. They can't talk to me. So they go get the oldest ones and they go, talk to them.
Talk to them.
Right.
This is amazing.
And I start talking
Listen.
to them, get loud and over there. But look, y'all, and then what is amazing is when
Now, I'ma play this. I paused it. I had to. Because I had to play this back. Because I want you to catch this. She said the same thing Sekou said about certain family members in other places of the world. Listen to where she say when these family members come back. Listen to where she say that they are from. Are y'all sure y'all ready for this? Are y'all sure y'all ready for this? Listen to this.
and then what is amazing is when the one or two family members come over from Mexico, and I get to talk to them because they speak Seminole with Spanish in it.
Wow.
So now you have Gullah with Spanish.
Wait.
And then
They what? They come from where? And they speak what? With what? And you're gonna try to man, listen, man. Let me let this play this out. Let's get it, man.
is when the
This is
one or two
crazy.
family members come over from Mexico, and I get to talk to them because they speak Seminole with Spanish in it.
Wow.
So now
Yes,
you
sir.
have Gullah with Spanish in it.
So this is 9 years ago. 9. And a nigga got the nerve, right? You got the
The island at roughly
nerve
30 miles
to make
inland
a
to the
video
north.
last year. You got the nerve to make a video last year.
Amen.
Green ass nigga, oh, you see they're indoctrinated, blah, blah, blah.
Unmistakable
They're
faces of
indoctrinated,
Africa.
blah, blah, blah. This shit is a year ago, buddy.
Unmistakable
You don't have enough
faces
fucking
of
information
Africa.
for this conversation.
To
I've
know
been telling
more
Negroes that.
about the
You don't have
reconnection.
enough information for the conversation, brother.
On somebody else's land
You don't got enough
and
information for
plan
the
it. They
conversation.
need to do
See,
what
niggas
you
could claim
tell
they
them.
undefeated
Well,
is
you're
because
gonna
they
push them
ain't,
in
they
this one
ain't,
place
they
and
ain't
start
running to the big juggernaut.
sit.
They ain't running to
My family
They
still
did not
owns
run into the
a lot of
head
power
chopper, man.
because that is where my
What's going on
grandfather came from and his father's father. My grandmother is the one from Dato. And so it made it more clear why she looked like she looked, why she did some of the stuff she did, why she could make pottery and do.
So now, at what point does Auntie get an apology? Right? What point does she get an apology? Is it not okay for her to recognize both sides of her bloodline, her indigenous and her African side? See, niggas will say, well, she need to recognize more of her indigenous side. But what if they really don't know too much about it? Y'all don't know too much about your indigenous side. You don't know exactly what language your grandma them spoke, but you gonna classify it as Muskogee. You don't know exactly what dances and traditions your grandparents practice, but you gonna try to revitalize some of them. Y'all upset that Auntie simply saying that she has both of those? That's how I know people just simply hate being associated with the other land. And the issue is they're not ancient enough to understand that the land is the land. Whether it's America, Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia, you get what I'm saying? Antarctica. No matter where the land is the land is the land. It came up out of the water. But niggas have allowed European terminology like the old world and things like that limit their brain capacity. They can't even think past Augustus LaPlonge and James Churchward. This is why Wale Orges is here. And I need y'all to catch me live Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Southeast Stick Talk, right? They gonna pass the talking stick to me. And I'm going to turn that talking stick to the red stick and I'm going to bust some heads. And I'm bringing scalps back. Like I said, I ain't selling these scalps. These scalps going in front of the village. If you said some evil shit about our cousins that have admixture, we bringing you to the clan mothers. Real indigenous know what that means.
Tongue. All right. And so that is our mother tongue, which is Gullah. We have a dialect of the Gullah language, which is Geechee, and the people ourselves are called Gullah Geechee. And so we have indigenous ancestry and African ancestry.